They kind of always told me like to never be an artist because artists starve and die. Like that's all I'm doing now, just trying and trying here. These Tim Burton super creepy characters, and I loved it. Immediately loved it. Maybe I started feeling very attracted to these like creatures and monsters that are not necessarily bad. I am not good for running for survival. This is not my life. Oh, he's flying. And to get through school life, I kind of had to be as invisible as possible. Yes, yeah, like I used to be like very sporty kid, but I was always terrible at sports. I liked doing them, but I was not good at them, and that's okay. I also had a lot of like boy friends, not boyfriends, little boy friends, space friends. Because like usually they would play more physical, more rough, and I like that. So that's why I usually hung out with boys when I was little. And I would always come back home full of bruises and with sand in my hair, and my mom is like, "Oh my gosh." um, I liked a lot of like girls' toys, but I liked playing with. When I went to the house of like my guy friends, it would be very fun to play with their toys because they were like very different as well. So it was nice to have like both of those perspectives. And of course, I played with my brother's toys a lot. But guys' toys are actually way less resistant than women's toys because they broke all the time, and my brother would be so angry at me. No, like I broke my brother's toys like all the time because they're like hard resin dinosaurs usually. And like like my brother would like to play with his dinosaur, like, oh, he's flying. But that was not realistic enough for me. So I had to do he's flying. And of course it hits the wall and it breaks. I needed realism. I guess it started with any kid, like painting is something like any adult gives to kids. Kids like to draw and paint. I started drawing, like the first things I would draw would be like animals, of course. I still do draw mostly animals. And Pokemon was my first like big inspiration. I would also like to do like little dragons with rocks, and I would take clay and make like wings and horns and stuff, and I would collect rocks to make them into little dragons. um, I don't know, I would like to do anything I could think of, and with time like that has only been growing more and more. I was a very quiet kid. Like I was very hyper, but like on my own. I liked to play on my own. I liked interacting with other kids, but I would have like one or two friends, and that's it. Like I didn't want more friends even. I didn't need more friends, and I was completely fine. As long as I had like one or two good friends, that was enough. So like yeah, like that was like a huge contrast with my brother because my brother was the complete opposite of me. He's like super social, wants like the more friends the better, and like the way we would play would also be very different because my mom would say like when my brother plays, like he would want her to be there watching him play, even if she's not playing with him. She had to be there watching. while I would want to just like lock myself in the room, in my room, and like play by myself and be completely alone. That was our different ways of having fun. As a kid, I actually didn't like dressing up that much. I didn't even like costumes or Halloween until I became teenager. Then I wanted to be in Halloween. As a kid, I mostly liked Halloween to like go out at night and um, like have fun with my brother, going to different houses. I didn't even like candy as a kid, so I would just collect all the candy and I would give it to my brother, and he would be like, "Yes, double jackpot." You, my love for makeup actually started in uni because I didn't even like makeup before that. I think mostly because like I didn't see the point in makeup so much, especially when you're younger. Like I just felt like, oh, like you have nice skin anyway, so you don't need powder and stuff. And I started liking makeup more when it was more like a creative thing, when I started to see it as painting on your face and you can make like crazy things more than it being like to be pretty or something like that. It was never like that for me. Um, it started more as just art on my face, and it started as like in school, like I was in a very harsh school, and kind of like to get through this school experience, I was in a class with very aggressive girls because it was an all girls school, and to get through school life I kind of had to be as invisible as possible, and after years of doing that it doesn't just go away. So makeup was like my way of trying to make myself be less invisible, because once you are wearing purple eyeshadow and green lipstick and all this crazy stuff, like you feel watched, you feel observed, you can't hide, you can't blend in when you are looking like that. Uh, and it was just like my personal experiment to feel okay just being present and being like having a presence and like people perceiving my presence, and it's okay. So it started that way. Like it's evolved more just to challenge myself, to have fun, to be more creative, and to just cheer myself up a lot of times, like when I'm feeling down. Just painting bright colors on my face makes me like feel so alive and like. But for me, actually, like I liked the uniform just because I had like such low confidence with dressing that it was a relief to not have to uh, pick normal clothes for me. And actually, in the weekends, like I would hate it. I would hate weekends. I would hate going out on weekends because I had to use my normal everyday clothes and I just didn't feel good in them in that time. So it was actually a relief for me to use a uniform. I was like, oh yes, I don't need to think about what I'm gonna wear every day. Now I think I wouldn't like it at all. But now it's the opposite. Like now I hate when I feel like I need to be invisible, or like I need to like dress a certain way and be with certain rules. Sometimes when I go back home, like I feel that a little bit more. Mm, like there's just a little bit more judgment, I feel. It might just be my perception, but when I go back home I don't feel the same freedom that I feel here. I can't just like wear whatever I want, whatever colors I want. I can't just put black lipstick and blue eyeshadow, purple eyeliner, and go out like that. It feels a lot more difficult there. which is why I start getting very stressed when I feel like I have to kind of like dim myself down for just going out. It starts being very claustrophobic in a way. I think it's mostly that every time I go back, I feel trapped back in that story of when I was growing up in school. It was a pretty difficult time for me, and like I feel like even until now, even though I've been able to progress and continue to grow and get out of that story, it's still there every time I go back. It feels like it hasn't been closed, and I just start reliving that sensation all over again. It's, for me, it just feels like every time I go back, like I'm really like wearing this mask, like trying to pretend to be a person, like a normal human being there. Maybe the person that I think, maybe they don't want me to be like that, but that I think that other people want me to be. But really, like, after last year, I realized that people accept you a lot more than I realized. Sometimes it's your own perception that you think that they want you to be like that, but actually they might accept you if you just show them a little more of who you are. I kind of realized that you have already this routine, this persona with these people, they know you as this person, and to suddenly like put yourself out there and be like, oh no, I'm actually maybe like this. Like it's terrifying because they might reject you. And like, I think the mask is more like trying to be like what I think a normal person is. And what I'm trying to portray here is more just trying to experiment with my creativity and trying to find who I want to be, because I still don't know. Like there are still parts of myself that I don't like so much, but who does? And but the thing is, like, you don't know who you want to be unless you try things, and like that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying and trying here, and if I feel like I want to do this, like I'm putting effort to actually bring it to action and to not care like, oh, like sometimes it's your own mind that stops you, like, oh, like if I want to do makeup, for example, uh, sometimes I start stopping myself because it's like, oh, but it's so much work to remove it at night and I'm like so tired, or but maybe like my friends will not like this makeup and it's gonna be awkward, or maybe I'm gonna feel uncomfortable all day because I have like this crazy makeup. But in the end, like it's better to just forget all that and be like, okay, if I wanna do it, let's just do it and let's deal with everything after. And that's how I kind of just push myself to go for it. Normal person is someone who likes to go out to party and likes to drink with friends and likes to uh, dress fashionable but like with the trend, and um, likes like very mm, like dark colors because they're easy to combine. They have a wardrobe that they can easily combine pieces with one another so it matches perfectly. Like I've never been able to have fun the normal way, I guess. It's a struggle. Like I'm not against going out to dance and to drink. There have been times that it has been fun, but it's not my main source of entertainment, and it's a lot of times very stressful. So I prefer to find fun in other ways. be it like board games, video games, going out for a walk, picnics, sports, a day at the beach, like different things, and I keep trying to find more, to just keep having like new experiences. But yeah, I kind of felt a lot of pressure growing up with the like going out to clubs, and that's how you make friends, and I just kept failing in that. But in the end, fun should not be something you struggle with having. It should be something that you just have. You just have fun, and it's fun, and you like this. You shouldn't be like, okay, like this time I'm gonna stay until 1 a.m. We can make it until 1 in the party before going home. So, yes. Well, aside from makeup, I like doing comics. I'm just starting in the comics part. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm kind of happy that I've seen like some progress in my drawings. Like I've been doing life drawing, so I'm noticing that my anatomy is like getting a little bit better, a little bit more dynamic as well. So it's good. No, I'm still not where I wanted to be, and when I go to life drawing classes, I start comparing myself to everyone else, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're so good. I'm never gonna get there. But in the end, I'm seeing my own art, and it's getting little by little just better with every comic I make, and that is like that's satisfying. That's all that matters at the end. And it also started being just a way for me to record small events in my relationship with my boyfriend, to kind of also help me remember them, because memory fades, and you want to keep those memories that were important to you, or like little funny moments and stuff, and it's just very entertaining. I've done also chalk paint in the street because I wanted to do graffiti, but I'm scared of getting in trouble, so I was like, I'll use chalk. Chalk is erasable, so it's gonna be fine. And I've tried with spray paint, but like in a friend's wall, so like it was okay. And wouldn't get in trouble with the cops and run, and I'm so slow, so I would get trapped immediately. I am not good for running for survival. This is not my life. I remember when I was young, about 10 years old at most, maybe less. No, it was probably 6 years old or 7. My mom rented the movie Nightmare Before Christmas, and she just like didn't really look at it much, and she just rented it and got it home and put it to watch. And I just started seeing all these Tim Burton super creepy characters, and I loved it, immediately loved it. And my mom was like, oh no, she's gonna get nightmares, and turned off and took the movie back, and I couldn't finish it. And I was so sad. And from there, I just started to feel very attracted to this kind of like creepy images, but not horror, because I'm like a huge chicken, ironically. So horror will scare me like so much. I don't like not being able to sleep for months after watching one movie. I do not want that. I don't know, maybe to the monsters, like I even like drew myself in like kind of creepy little monster self-portrait. I think that part, like I relate to it because I kind of always felt like little bit like I don't quite fit in with others, or like I'm not quite right, not quite right as a human being, I used to feel. And I think that's why maybe I started feeling very attracted to these like creatures and monsters that are not necessarily bad or cruel, but they just don't quite fit in either. Um, and it's also the imagery, like maybe I'm conscious that people don't exactly like that. Maybe I'm conscious that people don't expect that from me when they see me. When they perceive me, they see just this like quiet, cute girl, and suddenly, like, if I like this kind of horror and images, it's like unexpected. I guess I liked that as well, to be unexpected in a way. Both my parents are engineers and my brother is administrator, and this kind of makes it so that they don't quite understand how art works. And for me, it was a little bit of struggle growing up because I had, of course, like their example of the world and how you make things, how things work. And it turns out that art world is a bit different how it works with engineering or administration. And I'm not saying that there are not things that I can learn from them, but I've come to realize that there are things I need to learn on my own, away from what they've taught me, because some things don't serve an artist. And it's also like taken quite a bit of courage for me to call myself an artist. It's kind of terrifying. They kind of always told me like to never be an artist because artists starve and die and they only get money once they're dead. um, so that's kind of why I chose design in the first place. It was kind of art, but a little bit more industrial, little more administration. I don't know. It was kind of in the middle, but then I graduated from design and I realized I don't want to be designer. I want to be artist. I've always wanted to be. And I kind of just needed the courage. I guess despite everything, I'm kind of lucky because even though they don't quite understand, they've always tried to support me, and that's sucked. That's more than a lot of people, probably. And so yeah, like it kind of just takes courage from my part to be like, yes, like I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna earn money as an artist. Right now I recently earned mm, some money as an artist, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually possible. Maybe I can actually be an artist. I'm still terrified, but we'll try to make it happen. Hopefully, it will happen.